마지막에 찌를 못 참고 있었는데 찾았어.
Get ready to clear your schedules, because Netflix is not just dropping new K-dramas, they are unleashing an entire library of original content. We're talking 20. Yes, 20 brand new must-watch series and returning hits that will dominate your 2025. From intense psychological thrillers and dark historical scandals to long-awaited supernatural sequels, the streaming giant is making a colossal statement. So get ready to update your watch list, press that subscribe button as your first act of support, and let's jump straight into this massive lineup of Netflix originals.
빨리 와요! 안 돼요. 저 진짜 안 돼요. 저 애기 탔잖아요. 진짜.
Let's start with the return of a series that redefined the medical drama genre. The Trauma Code isn't just back, it's been renewed for 2 full seasons. Picking up the thread of its acclaimed first run, the show follows the brilliant but haunted surgeon, whose reputation is as fractured as the limbs he fixes. After intense stints in international war zones, he continues his quest for redemption, leading the high-stakes trauma team. These new seasons, still based on the gripping web novel, promise to escalate the action with even more heart-pounding emergencies, complex ethical dilemmas, and deeply personal conflicts. Prepare for the emotional wreckage and the adrenaline rush as this team of heroes battles against time, gravity, and the limits of the human body. This is the one the webtoon world has been waiting for. Set in a world ravaged by dimensional portals and monstrous incursions, humanity's only hope lies with hunters who possess supernatural combat abilities. Our protagonist, initially the weakest of all, constantly scorned for his fragility, is on the bottom rung. But after surviving a catastrophic hidden dungeon, he is selected by a cryptic, impossible system. This system grants him a unique, cheat-like ability, the power to literally level up without limits. While other hunters remain stagnant, he grows exponentially stronger, battling not only grotesque monsters but also dark conspiracies and the jealousy of his peers. His journey is a relentless race for power to uncover the truth behind the system that transformed him, a power that holds the key to the world's salvation or its utter destruction. Road is a gripping multi-country manhunt ignites this intense crime thriller. The nightmare begins in the silent streets of Tokyo when a disfigured body is discovered bearing a cryptic message written in Korean blood. The crime is initially dismissed as an isolated incident. However, when a mirroring murder occurs in Seoul, this time with a message in Japanese, authorities realize they have an international serial killer on their hands. 2 detectives, one from Korea's Violent Crimes Unit and one from Japan's police force, are forced to bridge cultural and jurisdictional divides. They must join forces in a desperate cross-border chase to profile and capture a killer who is always one agonizing step ahead of them. This drama promises sharp investigation, high tension, and a truly unsettling mystery. Step back into the suffocating, rigid world of the late Joseon dynasty for a tale of high society defiance and illicit desire. This melodrama centers on a woman bound by the strictures of her aristocratic marriage, yet she secretly operates a masterful game of social manipulation through discreet, calculated affairs. Her goal is not love, but control over the powerful men who surround her. She relies on her cunning, charming cousin, a man tangled in his own history of desire, to execute her plans. When her husband introduces a young new concubine, the cousin is dispatched to seduce her. But the tightly wound conspiracy begins to fray when he becomes genuinely captivated by another, a widowed noblewoman known throughout the land for her unimpeachable chastity. A dangerous, forbidden game of power and passion is set in motion, threatening to shatter the social facade of the entire era. Meet Sarah Kim, the ultimate enigma. She is the celebrated head of an elite high-end brand's Asia branch, a name synonymous with untouchable luxury. But when she is suddenly found murdered, her perfectly curated life begins to unravel, leaving no clues behind. Detective Moo Jeong, a sharp, tenacious investigator in the Violent Crimes Unit, takes the case. As he delves into the life of the victim, he discovers that her identity is a labyrinth of lies and carefully constructed facades. The real Sarah Kim doesn't exist. Instead, he finds multiple aliases, ages, professions, and backstories. The mystery becomes, who killed Sarah Kim, and more importantly, which Sarah Kim was murdered? This thrilling investigation promises deep psychological suspense and layer upon layer of deceit. The perfect job comes with a demonic price. A young man accepts a tempting part-time position from a mysterious, shadowy employment agency, offering a jaw-dropping 50 times the standard hourly wage. But the perfect job quickly spirals into a terrifying descent into the supernatural as he begins to witness and experience increasingly strange and disturbing phenomena. Driven by a fierce determination, a female investigator begins to look into the agency's sinister operations, while the young man's equally spirited younger sister gets dangerously involved in solving the mystery. As they pursue the truth, the macabre cost of this job is slowly uncovered, forcing them all to confront the unknown and fight for their sanity and survival. The fan-favorite boxing duo is back, and this time the stakes are lethal. After dismantling the brutal network of illegal loan sharks that plagued their city, the two young boxers thought their fighting days were over. Now, they are dragged into an even more vicious and high-stakes arena, an international underground fighting league where the only rule is survival. They face a new, terrifying opponent, a fighter with superhuman strength and unsettling dark intentions, who forces them deep into this violent subculture. They must rely on their brotherhood and their fists to survive both inside the ropes of the ring and outside in the treacherous, unforgiving world of extreme crime. Show business. Journey back to the ruthless, glittering Korean entertainment industry spanning the 1960s to the 1980s. This series follows a group of ambitious individuals fighting for a slice of success at any cost. At the center is a fiercely determined woman, hardened by a difficult past, who dives into the music world. She is accompanied by her loyal, impulsive friend who follows her into the treacherous world of show business. Their path is complicated by the return of an old childhood rival, a relationship marked by an intense blend of love and hate, who challenges her ambition and threatens to undermine everything she has fought to achieve. In this ruthless, beautiful setting, they all must confront the true, personal cost of fame and success. The Wonder Fools, get ready for a quirky, action-packed adventure set in the bizarre, doomsday-fearing atmosphere of 1999. The story takes place in the small, chaotic Haesong city where a group of awkward, ordinary townies unexpectedly gain supernatural powers. There's Eun Chae-nai, a quirky woman with a bright personality, her neighbors Sun Jae-young and Kong Ro-bin, and an enigmatic, socially awkward civil servant named Lee Eun-jong, played by Cha Eun-woo. The problem? Their newly acquired abilities are far from perfect, leading to more comedy than heroics. They must now unite their clumsy super squad to face off against a mysterious villain threatening the peace of their city. This promises a delightful blend of 90s nostalgia, unpredictable action, and genuinely funny, flawed superheroes. Lovestruck. A brilliant prosecutor wakes up following a catastrophic accident with total amnesia, finding herself in a picturesque, remote village famous for its caramel shops. A handsome man introduces himself as her boyfriend, a former athlete turned coach. Forced to live together, a new relationship blossoms, but he harbors a massive secret, a criminal past and a deliberate lie spun to protect her from a past she can't remember. Despite her memory void, she feels an undeniable pull toward him. Lovestuck is a story where a relationship built on a fundamental lie gradually transforms into a surprisingly genuine, powerful love story, forcing the past and present to dangerously intertwine. East Palace, when terrifying, mysterious incidents begin to plague the sacred grounds of the royal palace, two individuals with extraordinary, haunting abilities are summoned to combat the rising terror. One is a master swordsman who can pierce the veil between worlds, destroying ghosts with his enchanted blade. The other is a court lady whose gift is to hear the subtle, chilling whispers of the dead. They are reluctantly drawn together to investigate the strange, sinister events surrounding the Crown Prince's palace. In a world of shadows, the very abilities that once made them outcasts become the kingdom's greatest allies, and they become the only key to salvation from a curse threatening to destroy the royal bloodline. True education. In a society reeling from the collapse of respect for educators, an extreme measure is taken. A new, uncompromising department is established to protect teachers' rights and restore absolute order to the schools. Relentless supervisors are dispatched with full authority to deal with parents and students who cross the line, ensuring swift punishment for rule breakers. Leading the charge is a supervisor known for his strict, unwavering commitment to justice and his clear vision for discipline. He is not afraid to confront the most absurd situations, but his mission forces him to face the devastating consequences of a system that has fundamentally lost its balance and moral compass. This is a gritty look at the fight to restore respect and authority in the modern educational setting. Variety. The glittering, brutal world of K-pop provides the backdrop for this intense psychological thriller about ambition and obsession. An ambitious, highly skilled entertainment executive risks her entire career to revive the K-pop group she created, battling intense industry pressure to keep control and achieve success. Meanwhile, an obsessive fan, consumed by an all-consuming devotion for his favorite idol, will do absolutely anything to get close to him, plunging into a dangerous mix of devotion and desperate pursuit. As their stories begin to violently intertwine, the drama explores the blurred, terrifying boundaries of what they are willing to do for their passions, exposing the dark, ugly consequences of desire in the ruthless K-pop machine. Grand Galaxy Hotel. For centuries, the Grand Galaxy Hotel has stood as the ultimate final destination for the recently deceased, operating under the solemn, watchful eyes of the Reapers themselves. It offers a final, elegant rest before the next journey. But when the hotel's legendary, enigmatic owner suddenly vanishes without a trace, the delicate balance between the living and the dead begins to dangerously unravel. In the owner's place emerges a mysterious new manager, whose presence instantly intrigues both the hotel's otherworldly staff and the living concierge, a skeptic dedicated to his work. As long-buried secrets surface and supernatural forces threaten to spiral out of control, the staff is forced to confront unsettling truths, realizing that behind every door of the grand galaxy lies not just a story, but perhaps a destiny. Boyfriend on Demand. A webtoon producer, Mireille, played by Jisoo, finds solace in a virtual reality dating simulation where she meets perfect digital boyfriends. However, her real life takes an unexpected turn with the presence of her rival producer, Kyung-nam, played by Seo In-guk, who hides a surprising secret. As their professional rivalry intensifies, Mireille finds herself drawn to Kyung-nam, blurring the lines between reality and her virtual world. Notes from the last row. This suspenseful drama centers on Hyo Mun-oh, a grumpy, perpetually frustrated literature professor and failed writer, whose life is consumed by insecurity and resentment, especially towards his successful writer friend. Everything changes when he discovers the genius of Lee Kong, a reserved engineering student who always sits in the back row but possesses an extraordinary raw gift for writing. Fascinated to the point of obsession, Mun-oh secretly begins mentoring the young man, momentarily reigniting his own lost passion for the written word. However, the professor's pathological fixation on Lee Kang's talent and his desire to recapture his past glory pushes their relationship to a dangerous, troubled path, leading to unpredictable psychological suspense. Take Charge of My Heart. This is a high-concept romance driven by a desperate scientific necessity. He is the brilliant executive heir to a business empire, whose entire life depends on a highly advanced artificial heart that is rapidly running out of power. She is an eccentric screenwriter whose life was marked by a bizarre accident, leaving her as a living source of intense static electricity, making it impossible for her to safely touch anyone. Fate brings the two together when they make a staggering discovery. She is the only one capable of safely recharging his heart. In return for saving his life, he offers her a deal that could save her stalled career. What begins as a tense, vulnerable contract soon escalates into a relationship full of undeniable desire and a passion that is literally impossible to resist. Wish Your Death. High school life turns into a survival game when students are terrorized by a mysterious app called Jirigo. This cursed app grants any wish a student makes, but at a horrifying, immediate cost. An imminent, terrifying death notification is delivered to the victim. Students, including a star athlete, a popular beauty, and other teens with dark secrets, are suddenly thrust into a desperate race to survive the clock. They quickly discover that every wish granted comes with a tragic and often fatal consequence for someone else. They must frantically work together to uncover the dark origin and true mechanics of the app before the curse claims them all. The Rat. A writer who has lived in total seclusion for over a decade has his quiet life violently overturned when he discovers that his entire identity has been stolen by a highly skilled criminal known only as the Rat. Without any proof to confirm his true self, and with the one friend who managed his affairs now mysteriously missing, he is left with nowhere to turn. Desperate to reclaim his name and his life, he teams up with a seasoned private investigator specializing in complex cases. Together, they embark on a dangerous, relentless, high-stakes journey to track down the master criminal, the Rat, in a battle not just for justice, but for the very essence of who he is. All of Us Are Dead Season 2. And finally, the sequel everyone has been waiting for. The zombie outbreak that decimated a high school campus now explodes beyond its walls, reaching vast new territories and threatening the lives of a new generation of college students. As these students try to rebuild their lives and forget the recent chaos, they are forced to confront an even more intense, fresh wave of horror and fight for survival in a newly infected world. Simultaneously, the survivors from the original outbreak are haunted by the lingering dark consequences of their past actions. Amid mounting secrets and exponentially growing dangers, the fight for survival begins again, more intense, unforgiving, and emotionally taxing than ever before. Wow, 20 incredible K-dramas are heading to Netflix. This lineup is massive and will keep us entertained for months. Netflix is really bringing the heat in 2025 and beyond. What's your most anticipated drama? Is it the gripping psychological suspense of The Art of Sarah, the captivating romance of Take Charge of My Heart, or the intense action of the Trauma Team's return? Share your top pick in the comments. If you enjoyed this guide, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for more K-drama updates and reviews. Stay tuned for more.